Imagine waking up unable to move your body, unable to scream, unable to even close your eyes, while cold metal drills into your skull and your memories are peeled away one by one. You feel pain, but you can't react. You understand what's happening, but you can't stop it. Your name is erased, your thoughts are silenced, and your body is repurposed into something no longer considered human. You are not being executed. You are being used. In the Imperium of Man, this fate is not rare, not reserved for monsters or war criminals, it is routine. Billions suffer it across the galaxy. This is not a machine horror story. This is a human one. Because in Warhammer 40,000, some people don't get to die. They become servitors. Warhammer 40,000 is a universe defined by cruelty on an unimaginable scale. It is a future where humanity survives only by sacrificing everything that once made it humane. The Imperium of Man rules a million worlds through fear, faith, and endless war, and in this brutal system, efficiency matters more than mercy. Advanced artificial intelligence is forbidden, considered a sin so dangerous that entire civilizations were destroyed to erase it. Instead, the Imperium turned inward, using the human mind itself as a tool. Servitors are the result, lobotomized humans stripped of identity and converted into biological machines. They reload weapons, clean reactors, process data, and serve the Imperium tirelessly, silently, and endlessly. Officially, they are mindless. Officially, they feel nothing. But the truth buried beneath layers of doctrine and steel is far worse. In this video, we're going to explore what a servitor really is, how they are made, what they may still experience, and why the Imperium considers this nightmare not only acceptable, but sacred. A servitor is not a robot, no matter how much the Imperium insists otherwise. At its core, a servitor is a human being whose body has been forcibly repurposed into a tool. Flesh replaces circuitry, bone replaces steel framing, and a once-living brain replaces forbidden artificial intelligence. In the Imperium of Man, true AI is heresy, a reminder of the ancient men of iron who nearly annihilated humanity. Because of this fear, the Imperium turned to the most abundant resource it has ever possessed: human lives. Servitors are everywhere. They crew starships, reload artillery, manage data banks, perform surgery, and even act as personal assistants for imperial nobles. Some are grotesque combat platforms with heavy weapons fused into their arms, while others are little more than walking terminals, plugged directly into cogitators and control systems. They do not speak unless programmed to. They do not question orders. They are considered equipment, logged in inventories alongside ammunition and spare parts. The Adeptus Mechanicus views them as the perfect union of flesh and machine, proof that the weakness of the human body can be corrected through sacred augmentation. To the wider Imperium, servitors are a necessity, reliable, obedient, and expendable. What is never openly discussed is the fact that every servitor was once a person with memories, relationships, fears, and hopes. By redefining them as tools, the Imperium absolves itself of guilt. If a servitor breaks, it is repaired or replaced. If it malfunctions, it is recycled. In a galaxy where survival demands constant sacrifice, servitors represent the Imperium's most honest philosophy: humanity exists to be used, and nothing more. The creation of a servitor begins not with technology, but with condemnation. Criminals, heretics, political dissidents, debt slaves, prisoners of war, and sometimes even unlucky civilians are sentenced to servitorization. Officially, it is a punishment more useful than execution. In reality, it is a fate worse than death. The condemned is restrained, often conscious, as Mechanicus surgeons begin their work. The process is brutal and ritualized, blending crude surgery with religious ceremony. Portions of the brain associated with personality, emotion, and higher thought are destroyed or removed. Control implants are hammered directly into the skull. Spinal interfaces are fused to the nervous system. Limbs are amputated and replaced with mechanical tools, weapons, or cables, depending on the servitor's intended function. Pain management is inconsistent at best. To the Adeptus Mechanicus, suffering is irrelevant, the flesh is weak, and pain is simply a byproduct of imperfection. Memory wipes are performed, but they are not always thorough. The goal is not mercy, it is compliance. Once the transformation is complete, the individual ceases to exist in Imperial records. There is no funeral, no acknowledgement of death, because as far as the Imperium is concerned, the person has not died. They have been improved. The newly created Servitor is tested, calibrated, and deployed immediately. Whatever fear or awareness remains is buried beneath programming and command protocols. What stands where a human once lived is something the Imperium insists is no longer human at all. The most horrifying question surrounding Servitors is whether they are truly mindless. Imperial doctrine claims that Servitors lack consciousness, operating only on basic routines and command responses. However, scattered throughout Warhammer 40K lore are moments that suggest something far darker. Servitors have been described screaming during maintenance, reacting with fear when threatened, or recognizing individuals from their past. Some show hesitation, distress, or resistance before being forcibly recalibrated. These incidents are dismissed as glitches, yet they occur often enough to be unsettling. The truth may be that servitorization does not fully erase the human mind, it simply buries it. Fragments of awareness may remain trapped beneath layers of conditioning, unable to influence the body they once controlled. Imagine being aware of your surroundings but unable to speak, move, or even die. Imagine feeling pain as your limbs are replaced or repaired, yet having no way to express it. Some servitors are deliberately left semi-aware to improve performance, especially those used in complex tasks. In these cases, suffering is not a flaw but a tolerated side effect. When awareness becomes too disruptive, memory wipes are repeated, degrading the mind further each time. The Imperium does not see this as cruelty, it sees it as maintenance. If even a fraction of servitors retain consciousness, then the Imperium has created a form of living hell, countless minds imprisoned within their own bodies, condemned to eternal obedience. Daily existence as a servitor is an unending cycle of labor. There is no concept of rest or leisure. Servitors do not sleep unless their systems shut down, and even then, it is not rest but inactivity. Many stand in the same position for years, waiting for commands that may never come. Others repeat the same task thousands of times a day, loading ammunition, sealing hull breaches, or processing data streams that would drive an unmodified human insane. They are routinely exposed to radiation, toxic chemicals, extreme cold, or vacuum, conditions that would kill a normal person but are deemed acceptable losses for a servitor. Maintenance is frequent and brutal. Damaged components are replaced without sedation. Limbs are removed, neural pathways adjusted, and behavioral errors corrected through electrical punishment or surgical alteration. When a servitor becomes too inefficient or unstable, it is decommissioned, its organic components recycled, its mechanical parts stripped for reuse. There is no retirement, no release, and almost never a merciful end. Some servitors outlast the ships they serve on, their bodies deteriorating slowly as centuries pass. Time loses all meaning when every moment is identical. This is not punishment meant to teach or reform. It is a permanent state of existence, where the only purpose left is to function until failure. The Imperium of Man accepts servitors because it must, or at least because it believes it must. Humanity exists in a galaxy filled with horrors, demons, xenos, ancient machines, and endless war. In this environment, moral considerations are treated as luxuries. The Imperium values survival above all else, and servitors are efficient, obedient, and easily replaced. The religious doctrine of the Adeptus Mechanicus reinforces this system, preaching that the soul resides in function, not in comfort or freedom. To suffer while serving is considered holy. The fear of artificial intelligence looms over every technological decision, making the use of human minds seem not only acceptable but righteous. Over time, this logic has eroded any sense of individual worth. A human life is measured not by its experiences, but by its utility. Servitors embody the ultimate endpoint of this philosophy, humanity reduced to raw material. They are not tragic accidents or isolated atrocities. They are a foundational pillar of imperial civilization. In trying to protect itself from the monsters of the galaxy, the Imperium has become one. The existence of servitors forces an uncomfortable realization. In Warhammer 40,000, the greatest horror is not the alien or the demon, but what humanity is willing to do to itself in the name of survival. Servitors are not rare, and they are not hidden. They stand in plain sight across the Imperium of Man, silently performing the labor that keeps humanity alive. They are so common that most citizens no longer see them as people at all. That is the final cruelty of their existence, not just the pain, not just the loss of identity, but the way their suffering has been normalized. Every servitor represents a life erased, a mind broken and repurposed, all in service of an empire that claims it has no other choice. In Warhammer 40,000, there are heroes, legends, and gods of war, but beneath all of that glory is a civilization built on endless sacrifice. The Imperium survives because it is willing to cross lines that no humane society ever could. Servitors remind us that this universe is not about hope or progress, but about endurance at any cost. In a galaxy where death is everywhere, it is often portrayed as the ultimate horror, but for those turned into servitors, death would have been mercy. Because in the grim darkness of the far future, even the right to die is something that can be taken away.